Hola estudiantes, este es el tema 8.4, los superlativos. En inglés y en español usamos superlativos. So this means that both in English and Spanish and many other languages we use the forms called superlatives. And these forms are used to express the highest or the lowest degree of quality or for quality that we are mentioning, right? A characteristic that we are giving to some item, to some place, or to some person. In this case, we want to say that that person is the prettiest. We want to say that that guy is the most intelligent. We want to say that these shoes are the best, or we want to say that this pizza is the worst. Okay, so we are not comparing of the same quality. We're not comparing the same degree. We're not comparing slightly better, slightly less. In this case, we want to say that this is the best, the biggest, the smallest, or the most intelligent, the most comfortable, and so on, right? So over here, we do have some hints already. We have el mejor or la mejor. We want to say, we use this to say the best. We also have el peor or la peor to say the worst. And we also have just another example to say el más alto or la más alta, the tallest. So we're not going to say más alto que, that is to compare. We're not doing that this time. We want to say la más inteligente, el más grande, la más vieja, el más joven, right? So we are going to say el or la más. In this case, la peor or el peor or la mejor and el mejor. All right, so this construction is used to form superlatives. So you can see the structure that we have over here. Note that the noun is always preceded by a definite article. So we're always going to use el, la, los, or las because we want to say the best, you know, the smallest or the most expensive. So that the in English, it is going to translate into el, la, los, or las. That goes along the noun. And over here, we also have the word de, which is equivalent to the English in or of. And you will see, once we discuss the examples, you will see what I'm talking about. So just remember this structure. El, la, los, or las, depending on what item or person or place you're talking about. Then the noun, and then we're going to say más or menos, and then we are going to provide the adjective that we're talking about. So just keep that in mind. If you have your pen and paper right now, please make notes of these, take notes for you to remember, and then we're going to see some of the examples. Over here we have some examples. El restaurante Las Delicias es el más elegante de la ciudad. So you can omit the person, place, or thing if you have already discussed that, if you have already mentioned. But you know, like that goes based on the context. So for example, in here, el restaurante Las Delicias, we're talking about this restaurant called Delicias. And then we're saying, yeah, this is the most elegant of the city, right? Now, what about we haven't mentioned the noun yet? We can say, el restaurante Las Delicias es el más elegante de la ciudad. Restaurant Las Delicias, that is the name, it is the most elegant of the city. So in here we're putting that in context. And that is why, and let's go back, that is why they are giving us the word de. So we are saying that this is the, you know, the best quality we can find in this little group. So for example, this is the best quality restaurant or the most elegant restaurant we can find in the city or in town, right? That's why we say de la ciudad. Now, the second example is to say, es el más sabroso del menú. What are we talking about? We're talking about pollo asado. I recommend the grilled chicken because it is the most tasty of the menu. I know that in English we would say tastier, tastiest, but in this case, or delicious, in this case, we want to say el más sabroso del menú. So in here, this is the most elegant out of the restaurants in the city, and this is the dish that is the most delicious out of all the dishes in the menu. Okay? So you can see that we have the structure el más elegante, el más sabroso. We are saying sabroso and el because we're talking about pollo asado. We are saying over here elegante and el because we're talking about the restaurant. This would change if we are mentioning feminine or female items or nouns. So in here, we are going to use all of these to, whenever we use the word más, like we mentioned in topic 8.3, this is going to mean more. However, whenever it goes along with the word el, la, los, or las, it turns into the meaning of the most. Okay? And same thing is going to happen with the word less, with the word menos. Whenever we goes with el menos, la menos, los menos, or las menos, it is going to mean the least. Okay? We have some examples. Es el café más rico del país. It is the most delicious coffee in the country. El más, right? Just like we mentioned, el más. Over here we have el menú menos caro de todos. This is the least expensive menu of all of these. So we do have el más and we have over here el menos, okay? So in this case, the two of them mean either the most or the least. So we have some irregular superlative forms, just like we have in English as well. You know, like good goes to better and to best, the best. Bad goes to worse and the worst. In English, we do have this situation. In Spanish, it is very, very similar. You know, from bueno or buena goes to the superlative form. We're not comparing anymore, remember? In this case, 8.4, we're talking about superlative form. And then from bueno, we go to el mejor. From buena, we go to la mejor, the best. From malo, we go to el peor. And from mala, we go to la peor, the worst, female or male in this situation. Grande, we go to el or la mayor. Pequeño or pequeña, el or la menor. Joven, el o la menor, if we refer to age in these two. And viejo or vieja goes to la mayor. So please take notes of this as well, because we do have some irregulars. Just like every time we study a rule, we will find some irregularities. This last slide, it is just to give you an idea of something that you want to make a point. You want to make a point and something it is absolutely or super or very or extremely annoying or extremely good, super bad, very, very, very expensive. You want to make that point, and for that, you can also add the ending isimo. Of course, that we are going to be talking about adverbs or adjectives, right? Just like we have studied before. In this case, malo can turn into malísimo to say, whoa, this steak, it is really, really, really bad. And we have another example over here. Comes muchísimo. You eat a lot, okay? So you do want to make a point just to make sure that you're not saying or you're not comparing or you're not providing, a point of reference. You just want to make a point of something that is really bad, really terrible, or really great, right? That is why this last example or that last ending that we studied goes with something just to make emphasis, right? You can say malísimo, muchísimo, elegantísimo, carísimo. So every time you can turn that those pronouns, those adjectives into the ending isimo, just to make sure that you put that emphasis. And in these ones, we do have some more examples. And whenever we spell, we will also see some changes. For example, rico. Rico means either delicious or also means rich, okay? From rico, we go to riquísimo. You can say that person, it is super, super rich. You can say es riquísimo. Fácil, facilísimo. We go from easy to like extremely easy. Largo, long, to larguísimo. Super long. You want to make a point. Largo, larguísimo. Joven, jovencísimo. Feliz, felicísimo. Trabajador, trabajadorcísimo. So this is, you won't see it very often, but this is, just for you to know that you might see it sometimes and you will see it in VHL Central as well, just to make sure that these are words that emphasize how extreme the characteristic is. You do want to make a point and you can add that ísimo or ísima, ísimos or ísimas, depending on, if it's singular or plural, feminine or masculine, just to emphasize how bad or how extreme that condition is.